Hey folks, welcome to Chapter 3, Section 4, Part 1, Equations of Lines in Slope-Intercept Form. So in this video, we're going to do a variety of examples where I give you a couple pieces of information such as the slope and a point on that line, or maybe just two points on a line, maybe the slope and the y-intercept, something of that nature. But what you're going to ultimately do is create the equation for that line, and you'll write it in slope-intercept form, which is, of course, y equals mx plus b. So two major things to point out at the top is m is going to be your slope, and b is by itself, it's the y-intercept. The slope is always m. I like to say it's m because it's married to the x. And then b is by itself for the y-intercept. So before I do any examples, just want to point out that the majority of the examples we do will be like in y equals mx plus b form. But sometimes you have a zero slope and sometimes you have an undefined slope. So if you have a zero slope, you're going to have y equals a number. So I wrote y equals c. C stands for any constant number. That's going to create a horizontal line or a flat line because you have zero slope. Okay, so it won't be y equals something x plus b. It would just be y equals b. But instead of b, I wrote c. C for constant. So you see what I mean? I said c again. Okay, anyway. Graphs with vertical lines, those are going to be in x equals form. So it'll be x equals c, and that's called an undefined slope. If you can go straight up and down but not side to side at all, that's an undefined slope. And so those get mixed up a lot. Like people get mixed up with, do I say horizontal lines are y equals or x equals, and same thing for vertical lines. So I just say this: horizontal lines are y equals because they pass through the y-axis. And then vertical lines are x equals because they pass through the x-axis. So if you think about it here, here's a blank graph. If I have a flat line like this, it's touching through the y-axis. So it'd be y equals whatever number it passes through. Same thing for x. If I have a vertical line going through -5 here, I'd say x equals -5. And that's all there is to it. But with that out of the way, let's get into some examples here. Hey everyone, welcome to part 1 of chapter 3, section 4, equations of lines in slope-intercept form. So in this section, I'm going to be giving you information about a line. I might be giving you 2 points on that line, or the slope on that line and a point. But we're going to use that info to plug it into the slope-intercept formula, and then output our equation, basically. So to recap what the slope-intercept form looks like, it's y equals mx plus b, where m is your slope and b is your y-intercept, okay? I like to say m is the slope because it's married to the x, mx, and then b is the y-intercept because it's b by itself. So if that ever helps you remember it, yeah, just remember that. So in my first example here, I want you to write an equation in slope-intercept form of the line with a slope of 3, so m is 3, and a y-intercept of -2. Then graph that line. So really all you need to do is say y equals 3x, and then I know it's y equals mx plus b. Don't say plus and -2, just say -2. So I do want to graph this, and basically to graph a line from just the equation, you start at the y-intercept. The y-intercept was -2. So you go to -2 on the y-axis. And then I had a slope of 3. So that means I'm going to go up 3 over 1. Because if you were to convert it into a fraction, it's always helpful graphing the slope when it's a fraction. So I'm going to go up 3 over 1. So any whole number, just put it over 1. Okay, so it started at -2, up 3 over 1, up 3 over 1, up 3 over 1. I did a couple points going backwards, down 3 over 1, down 3 over 1, but that's it to graphing a line. In example 2, I'm going to write an equation in slope-intercept form of the line with the slope of -3 over 5 and contains the point -10, 8. Then I'm going to graph that line. So let's label everything I'm given. I know I have to write it in y equals mx plus b form, and I'm given my m, it's negative 3 over 5, and then the point that I'm given tells me my x and my y values. So if you look at this, y equals mx plus b is a formula with 4 letters, y, m, x, and b. And then the information I'm given, I know 3 of those 4 letters. I know m, I know x, and I know y. So the only thing I do not know is b. So I'm going to plug everything in and solve for b. So it's going to look like this. Instead of y equals, 8 equals mx, negative 3 over 5, times x is negative 10, plus b. So you're always going to multiply your m and your x together, so that's going to give me negative 3 times negative 10 is positive 30 over 5 is positive 6. So positive 6 plus b equals 8. So you can do that in your head, but hey, these are my notes, so I'm going to be thorough. I'm going to minus 6 over to the other side, and I get 2 equals b. Alright, so oftentimes I get kids that are confused. They think they're done at this point, but you need to write your equation. Your equation needs to be in slope-intercept form, and it needs to have your m and your b in it, and then the x and y just stay behind. So not the x and y values, the x and y letters. So the equation of your line is going to say y equals negative 3 over 5x plus 2. Okay, so this is the equation of the line that contains negative 10, 8. So if you left negative 10 and 8 in there, then you're just writing out an equation. You're just writing out a true statement. It'll say negative 10 equals all that stuff. Or, 8 equals all that stuff. So the equation needs to be something that can give you an infinite amount of points. So if you have negative 10, 8 in there, then you're only talking about one specific point. So to kind of sum it all up, write your equation of your line, only plugging in the m and the b, and then make sure you're writing down the x and the y in your answer, okay? Next thing I want to do is talk about graphing this line. I'll graph this line in blue, okay? And so I'm going to start at 2, and then I'm going to go down 3 over 5. So again, the y-intercept was plus 2, started at 2 on the y-axis, and then the slope was down 3 over 5, down 1, 2, 3, over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I just repeated that process, and then I went backwards. So that would be up 3, left 5, up 3, left 5. And there's my line. So you can always check your work by looking at, since we graphed it by hand, is that point negative 10, comma 8 on this line? And if you look, negative 10, comma 8 is a dot right there. So that's kind of how you know you did it right. But also, you have graphing calculators available to you. Type this in and look at the table of the graph. So here I typed this in on Desmos, and I took a screenshot of the graph. And when you type in negative 10 into your table, it tells you 8 is the y value. So that's how you know you did it right. Just a way of checking your work, really, is to check the graph or to check the table. Okay? Let's move on. Okay, so I got a word problem. Beneath, I was trying to decide which tablet computer to buy. An Android tablet costs $249, and the average cost of an app is $299 each. And an iPad costs $499, and the average cost of an app is 99 cents each. So we're going to write equations modeling that. And it says which tablet offers him the better price if he knows that he will purchase 17 apps. So basically, we got to write our equation, right? And an Android will have one equation, and then the iPad will have another. So I'm going to use, in the Android equation, I'm going to use $249.99. So I got to write a y equals mx plus b type of equation. And so it's very important that you get the m right, the slope right, because that's going to be multiplying by x, your independent variable, right? So your independent variable is what you have control over, what will change. And I have control over how many apps I choose to buy. So that's what's going to change. Oftentimes, if you see something that says like 99 cents per something, that's a dead giveaway for the slope. It doesn't say that, it just says 99 cents each. that still tells you that it is going to vary, that number is going to vary. So long story short again, I have an Android equation, and it's going to say y equals, and the tablet price is like what you start off with, $249. I'm going to put that second because it says mx plus b. And then I'm going to put 99 cents. Oh, sorry, $2.99. I've been saying 99 cents, but that's for the iPad. So $2.99 is the Android one. So $2.99x. It's very important that you remember to put the x by it. Otherwise, then you're just typing into the calculator what's $2.99 plus $249, and then it'll just tell you that it's $251.99. So yeah, the iPad is going to cost $499, and each app is 99 cents each. So y equals, and then so I start off with paying $499, and then if you want to think about it like this, you can buy the iPad and choose to not to purchase any apps. So if you were going to plug into 0, like let's say you put the X by this, if you plugged in 0 to that, then that means you didn't spend any money on the iPad at all. But you still bought the iPad, you just didn't buy any apps. So you're still going to pay $499 no matter what. So you'd plug in a 0 here by the number by the app cost, because that would just make that 0 and still tell you paid the $499. So I hope that kind of makes sense thinking it like that. So it says you're going to purchase 17 apps. So all you need to do here is plug in 17 into your graphing calculator or scientific calculator, and just output the total price you'll pay. That's what the Y number will be. So here I typed this into the GeoGebra scientific app, and so I plugged in $2.99 times 17 plus $249, got me $299.83. And then I did 99 cents times 17 plus $4.99, and it got me $515.83. So the better deal here is obviously going to be option 1, the Android tablet. Okay? So with example 4, I'm going to kind of put it all together. The stuff we did in the last section, 3.3, calculating the slope by hand. Here I'm giving you 2 points, and we're going to have to calculate the slope by hand, then plug that in, and do everything we did in the example 2. So to calculate the slope by hand, remember you need to label your points x1, y1, x2, y2, and that slope formula is going to be m equals y2 minus y1, so negative 1 minus 3 over x2 minus x1, negative 2 minus 0. And so that's going to give me negative 4 on top and negative 2 on bottom, which is just going to give me 2. So remember, if you know your slope and you know a point on the line, then you can do y equals mx plus b. And so you just need to plug in 2 for your m, and then either one of these points is going to be fine for the x and y values. So if you want to choose 0, 3, that's fine. If you want to use negative 2, negative 1, that's also fine. You'll end up getting the same final answer for b. So I'm just going to plug in 0, 3. So I'm going to write down 3 equals 2 parentheses 0 plus b. So 2 times 0 is 0, so 3 equals b. So yeah, b equals 3, m equals 2. All you need to do now is write your answer for your equation, y equals mx, 2x, plus b. But b is 3. So there we go. And again, if you want to check your answer, you just need to graph it. So if you do that, plug it in, look at the table, you're going to want to make sure both those points that were given to you are on that line. And so there they both are, negative 2, negative 1, and 0, 3. So I'm going to do another example here following the exact same process. I'm going to calculate my slope by hand, so I'm going to say 0 minus 9 divided by negative 2 minus 4. That's going to give me negative 9 over negative 6, and those negatives will cancel, and that fraction will reduce to 3 over 2. So now that I know my m, I'll use x and y values, and my m and plug it into the y equals mx plus b. So I'll say 9 equals m 3 over 2 x 4 plus b. Okay, so what's 3 over 2 times 4? That'll make 12 divided by 2, that'll make 6. So 6 plus b equals 9. Again, you can do that in your head, but hey, these are my notes, so I'll show work. I'll minus 6 the other side, and I'll get 9 minus 6 is 3, 3 equals b. So b equals 3 and m equals 3 over 2, then your equation is y equals 3 over 2x plus 3. And then I'm just going to point it out again. Graph that line, check the table, look for the points that were given to you in the table. Here's my table of values for this graph, 3 over 2x plus 3. And then you can see 4 over 9 and negative 2, 0. So let's move on to the next examples, shall we? Okay, example 5, write an equation in slope-intercept form for a line perpendicular to that. So if it's perpendicular, the first thing you need to do is identify your slope. My slope here is negative 3. So my perpendicular slope, that's my perpendicular symbol, is going to be opposite reciprocal, positive 1 over 3. And so there's my perpendicular slope. It needs to contain this, so this is my x and my y value. So I'm just going to say, you know, I have y equals mx plus b, but I have y is 0 equals, m is now 1 over 3, and, right? Yeah, 1 over 3. And so x is going to be 4, parentheses 4, plus b. So 1 over 3 times 4 is 4 over 3. So 0 equals 4 over 3 plus b. So that means you just need to minus the 4 over 3 to the other side. And so you get b equals negative 4 over 3. So I now have my slope and my y-intercept. So I say my answer is y equals 1 over 3x. And then instead of writing plus and negative, just write minus 4 over 3. And so guess what? I graphed it. I checked my table. The point that was given to me was 4, 0. There's 4, 0 at the bottom of the table. So yeah, I know I did it right. Example 6 says write an equation slope-intercept form for a line parallel to this line. So that means it's going to have the same exact slope. So m is 1 over 5 for parallel as well. So I'll just write it underneath here. M equals 1 over 5. Okay, so if m equals 1 over 5 and it contains this point, negative 10, negative 4, label that for x and y, and go ahead and plug everything in. Negative 4 equals 1 over 5 times x, negative 10, plus b. So 1 over 5 times negative 10 is going to be negative 2. So negative 2 plus b equals negative 4. Plus 2 to the other side, and you get negative 2 equals b. There's my b. That was my slope. So y equals 1 over 5 x minus 2. Okay, so again, what do I have left to do? Graph it, verify the point or points that were given to you are on that graph or in that table, and you know you did it right if you see it there. So thank you for watching, and goodbye.